Okay, so what is your general, overall opinion on vaccinations?
Vaccinations are good. They help prevent viruses that we don't want just infecting our general community, and they're super important for herd immunity.
I like how you just know the word. You're throwing it in there. Do you actually know anything about how vaccines work?
Yes, I've had biology.
And do you think if the general public did actually know how vaccines work, at least on some basic level, because if you've had general biology, you know, a vague overview, obviously not the extreme detailed route, but do you think that if the general public knew that much, then they would be less afraid of vaccines as a whole, and maybe that herd immunity would be a little bit more intact?
That's a leading question, ma'am. But, yes, I think if the general public understood that vaccines don't do all the horror stories that, people who are no longer doctors tell you they do, then people would be less afraid of vaccines and more likely to get their children vaccinated and thus keep things like herd immunity intact.
Okay, so do you think that vaccines should be mandatory for the general public since you do strongly believe that they are safe, or do you think that there should still be that element of choice in there? How do you feel about that?
I believe for children, they should be mandatory up until the age they can make their own decisions, because a parent who doesn't believe in something like that getting their child killed because they don't believe in vaccines is wildly inappropriate. But I also believe there's a certain amount of free will and that we can't just stick people with needles if they don't want to be stuck.
Okay, that's actually, I really like that answer. And then I have one more question that I kind of just... Anyway, so there are a lot of things such as rabies, right? And if you get rabies, or if you believe to be contracted with rabies or tetanus, you automatically get the booster shot for it, and that starts working on you. Do you think that maybe those should be included in the vaccines that just people get in general, or do you think there's really no use for that? How prevalent do you think these, because it's 100% fatal, rabies is 100% fatal, so do you think that we should be more protected against rabies, or do you think that we should keep it the way it is?
I'm not 100% sure, but with the rabies vaccine, isn't it like with tetanus? Tetanus, you have to get your shots updated every so often for them,
right.
But it's once every year, isn't it?
I believe tetanus is actually once every 10 years. I'm pretty sure you get a tetanus booster every 10 years.
Yeah, but then you still have to get another tetanus shot if you do come in contact with a rusty needle. Needles aren't usually rusty, but nails. I mean, I know that, but if you come into contact with...
When I crashed my car, I had to, so I think that's how it works, but it also had been about 10 years since my last tetanus booster.
Okay,
So
fair.
sure.
Then maybe. But I thought that anytime, because I've had cousins and stuff who should be updated on shot, get somebody stepped on a rusty nail and had to get a tetanus shot, and I just thought I wasn't sure how that worked. But if they only need every 10 years, then I'm in full support of making those also, because rabies is 100% fatal. You're not wrong, but obviously. But I think if there is a way to prevent that with vaccinations, then yes. But if it's something you have to get every year.
After the initial tetanus series, booster shots are recommended every 10 years.
Boom! Okay.
Okay, well then with tetanus,
but
yes.
You're right. If you experience a puncture wound, it's best to get the booster shot regardless of when you had your last tetanus shot.
Okay, well then I still support tetanus being a part of that then, because at least it provides some protection, because maybe you didn't know you came into contact with something rusty, and so it provides a little bit of protection. But with the rabies one, I'm decently sure you have to get it anytime you come into contact with rabies, right?
Yes.
Then that one doesn't seem necessary, just because what are the chances you come into contact with rabies 3 days after you get the shot, But it just depends on the time period again. Is rabies every 10 years? I don't know. Just whatever keeps the children safe.
World peace.
World peace. All right, well, thank you so much for talking with me about vaccinations.
Woo, go Julia, give her an A.